Structuring Student Success, Construction and Design to Support Academic Integrity by Elena Tackett and Morgan Gresham. We consider factors known to impact academic integrity and discuss how integrity-informed course design can support and structure student success. Specifically, we suggest that expanding scaffolding to emphasize reading as a process step has the potential to impact both individual and contextual factors related to academic integrity. Our focus is generally on written assignments, but includes sequencing steps and skills that are relevant across disciplines and courses. Recent and older studies demonstrate that many, if not most, students have engaged in some type of academic dishonesty at least once during their college career. A number of factors have been identified as connected to or contributing to academic dishonesty. We consider factors related to individual student characteristics and situational elements that impact academic integrity. Cheating on written assignments remains more common than cheating on tests or exams, but both have increased. A recent meta-analysis of research on academic dishonesty suggests that the student characteristic with the greatest relationship to academic dishonesty is the ability to neutralize the behavior. While students are increasingly likely to admit behaviors connected to academic dishonesty, they are less likely to define them as plagiarism or cheating. Other student characteristics connected to academic dishonesty include the need for external approval, a desire to succeed, grade orientation, and limited problem-solving skills. Like neutralization, these factors may feel beyond our ability to impact easily or immediately, but there are other student characteristics related to integrity that are clearly connected to course design. Procrastination, anxiety, and low academic self-efficacy are also student characteristics that have been related to academic dishonesty. It's clear to see how elements of course design, such as scaffolding and sequencing, or a lack thereof, can impact procrastination, and how procrastination can impact anxiety and low academic self-efficacy. While these individual characteristics can be connected to integrity, there are also situational elements, such as opportunity and context, that are overtly connected to academic integrity. According to McCabe, the ethics of cheating is very situational for many students. Some situational factors that have been defined as likely to impact students' decisions to engage in academic dishonesty include high stakes, workload, limited time, prior poor grade performance in the course, and lack of preparedness. Considering these elements in relation to course design makes the value of practices such as breaking assignments into small, scaffolded, low-stakes steps evident. Individual student characteristics and situational aspects that have been connected to academic dishonesty can also be connected to each other. Anxiety, procrastination, and lack of preparedness can create a perfect storm that is easily related to a student's academic self-efficacy. And combining these with high-stakes assignments, limited time, or prior poor performance could clearly exacerbate the situation. Even the characteristics that seem more difficult to address are connected. Being grade-driven, having a desire to succeed, and seeking external praise can be positive when students are succeeding in coursework, but they become dangerous when students are struggling and feel like they don't know how to succeed. In the same way that course and task design can help structure student learning and success, we believe it can foster academic integrity. By considering standard best practices around scaffolding and sequencing, with some of the noted factors in mind, we see connections between design and integrity. Specifically, we have expanded standard scaffolding to emphasize reading as a sequenced process step across the term, which we believe can impact both individual and contextual factors related to academic integrity. Scaffolding writing assignments by breaking them into process steps is a well-known best practice. Scaffolding can structure skill-building activities through low-stakes tasks that deepen comprehension, practice application, and construct larger assignments. Scaffolded writing assignments often begin with construction by submitting a topic, outline, annotated bibliography, or early draft. Starting at this point in the process overlooks the opportunity to focus on a key component of student success: reading. It is easy to assume students know how to read, specifically that they know how to locate relevant sources, read them closely and critically for comprehension, identify key elements, and connect them to the assignment. When we assume students can and are reading, we are assuming that they have developed skills in relation to research, critical thinking, annotation, summary, integration, analysis, synthesis, and evaluation as situated within our discipline and the course content. We also assume that students have the time management skills needed to prioritize reading, which we find vital to learning and success in the course, but they may find difficult or boring or ultimately not worth any points and possible to skip. If students have and are practicing these skills on content readings or other assigned texts, why not provide them with points for their work and an opportunity to collaborate? If some students do not have or are not applying these skills, including scored steps in our scaffolded structure will help them practice the process and will allow for intervention opportunities. In E&C 1101 and 1102, we have scaffolded reading as the foundation of our structured sequence through collaborative reading, reading quizzes, discussion posts, and constructed response tasks. Collaborative reading allows students to comment on the readings with their peers, which encourages them to engage the reading and practice annotating and creates a peer audience for reading. It also allows students to ask their peers questions and help each other by answering questions, adding context, and taking a leadership role. Collaborative reading allows instructors to assign points to reading in order to signal its importance and to add their own comments throughout the text beforehand to emphasize key elements or ask leading questions. It also creates intervention opportunities by identifying students who are not completing the reading. Here's an example of one of the readings from E&C 1101 with the student comments on the right. Students are required to comment on all the course readings. We tried Perusall, which had some advantages, but Google Docs has worked best. Instructors are not encouraged to go back and read, comment on, or respond to student comments. Feedback is offered in Canvas as part of the discussion post, which is where points are assigned. Audio is also available, so students can read along and comment. Each reading has a time on task estimate, which is equal to the time it takes the instructor to read multiplied by 1.5 to 3, depending on the length. Students can use it to plan and are encouraged to pay attention to their time and plan breaks as they learn their reading patterns. They are also encouraged to contact their instructor if something is taking considerably more time than estimated, and to stick with the task if they haven't put in the estimated amount of time. In addition to content readings, popular and scholarly sources are also annotated and submitted as an assignment with point value. Assigned articles and text students locate to use as source material are saved in Google Docs as a PDF and annotated. Reading grids that include all the readings from the term are also constructed and submitted. They can be assigned as a scaffolded step in the process, or they can be submitted with the final paper or in a packet or portfolio. Each reading also includes a reading quiz. The reading quizzes are designed to facilitate comprehension of course content. Understanding the reading material is essential to successful completion of the assignment. Quizzes highlight important points from each reading. Feel free to reference the readings as you work on the quiz. Reading quizzes are not timed and can be taken once. The goal is not to test comprehension or retention, but to facilitate reading, help students identify important elements, and provide points for the time and effort students put into reading. All quizzes are due at the same times and days each week and are automatically graded in Canvas. Answers become visible after all quizzes are due, and we try to make the answer to D funny. After students comment on the reading and complete the reading quiz, they submit a discussion post in Canvas. Write a one-paragraph summary of the reading. Provide 3 direct quotes from what you think were the key takeaways. What comments did you make on the doc? Review your peers' comments and identify ones you found useful. Write a peer's comment and explain why it is useful. What questions do you have for your instructor? These are low-stakes assignments, but they add up over the term and create a foundation of points. The questions are the same for all readings and are due at the same days and times each week. Some instructors require students to submit before they can see their peers' posts and others do not, but all discussion posts are threads so that students have a peer audience. Evaluation should be approached as a check minus, but it can be very useful to answer question 5, especially in online courses. These posts deepen content comprehension and allow students to practice summary, which is very valuable. Students can also go back and review their summaries in subsequent projects or terms. Most of the readings culminate in a constructed response task designed to practice a skill related to the reading and/or serve as a step to build the larger project. Discuss Sasha and the sidekick. What was Gladwell's takeaway? What was Shirky's? What is your takeaway? These tasks are still relatively low stakes, but they require more time and effort. Constructed response tasks move the reading directly into practice and foster active learning. They vary across the term and can include individual and peer activities in the form of reflection, review, revision, and results. The task can also be connected to course or program SLOs and general education criteria, which makes them accessible for program evaluation and broad assessment. These steps build to a major written assignment and demonstrate the value of a process approach, which students are encouraged to develop into a personal process that transfers across their courses. The constructed response tasks are also due at the same times and on the same days every week. The consistent design provides a stable structure across the term that scaffolds skills and crescendos to a major written assignment. Reading, quiz, post, task. Reading, quiz, post, tasks. Taken together, including process steps that scaffold reading could mitigate a number of individual and situational risks of academic dishonesty, provide intervention opportunities, and facilitate just-in-time teaching, as well as evaluation and assessment efforts. Collaborative reading, quizzes, and posts prepare students for success in constructed response tasks and the written projects they feed, which can decrease procrastination and a lack of preparedness. Consistent structure provides a clear path to success that values participation and effort and allows students to build confidence and earn points, which can avoid high-stakes assignments and prior poor grade performance and support self-efficacy. Elements of these scaffolded reading steps can be utilized independently. If there is a written assignment in the course, standard scaffolding can be expanded to include the submission of reading. If you assign an outline or annotated bibliography, students can submit one annotated article a week for a few weeks before the annotated bibliography is due. If you're using a textbook and don't have access to PDFs or digital copies, you can still have students write summaries, share key takeaways, and post comments in a thread. Collaborative notes work too. All students can keep reading notes in a shared doc, which allows them to learn from each other actively and passively. Scaffolding reading can provide structure and support for online sections and increase peer interaction among students. It can also ground hybrid and high-flex sections or facilitate a flipped classroom for face-to-face sections. The structure of scaffolded readings with assignments submitted before class meetings helps students get more out of class discussions and activities. In all cases, the load of grading must be considered as part of the design. We have 4 terms of student success and surveys that are overwhelmingly positive, and we will continue tracking outcomes and connections. In addition to factors related to academic integrity, we hope to tie these approaches to inter- and interpersonal competencies in Bloom's affective domain, and we plan to evaluate the impact of scaffolded reading on first time in college, first and family, underrepresented minority, and Pell-eligible student populations. Revision has been similarly structured around the practice of self-review, which we will also expand and evaluate going forward. For now, we feel confident inviting our colleagues to explore these approaches and to consider how these and other elements of course design can support academic integrity.